I first saw this story about how Ghana lost control of these ports early last year on African Confidential.
It details how this French billionaire, Vincent Ballore, with the help of his Ghanaian friend Asuma Banda, persuaded then President Mahama to award MPS, his company, a new container terminal contract in secret.
This was illegal by all rules of government procurement. The French billionaire opened a hugely profitable state-of-the-art container terminal at Ghana's Tema Port in July 2019 through his new company, Meridian Port Services. It is the latest link in a chain of 18 container terminals in West Africa run by the French billionaire and his partners,
which were acquired using similar methods. The terms of the agreement between MPS and the state are so tilted against Ghana's interests that a secret ministerial investigation was set up to uncover how much damage has been done.
The report delivered to ministers on February 2018 shocked them like electricity. Some said the terms of the deal should be renegotiated immediately. There was plenty of discontent in official circles about the MPS deal, enough to explain the leak of the explosive secret ministerial investigation.
Contracts like this, by law, should be tendered and bidded for by interested companies and should be awarded to the company with the best offer.
However, on 13th November 2014, President Mahama changed the game. Ghana's secret ministerial investigation shows how Ballore and his friends and his foreign partners persuaded then President John Dramani Mahama to award them a new container terminal contract in secret with no tender or bids. This was illegal by all rules of government procurement.
A high aide in the office of the president, one highly placed expert on the affair, told Africa Confidential that the president instructed the acting director of Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, Richard Anamo, to discontinue talks with other companies and engage with MPS. President Mahama accepted and awarded the contract to MPS.
MPS has previously shown no interest in pre-qualifying or bidding. 2 days later, President Mahama's media team filmed a video at the State House celebrating the award of the project. In it, the president congratulates the parties on the deal, and Banda talks about being the happiest man that the project is going ahead. No wonder he was given free shares in MPS. It meant 56 companies, 20 of which has been shortlisted for the construction contract, had wasted their time. Another 15 has bid for the operating contract, and Ghana civil servants had also wasted vast amounts of time. The understanding was that Ghana will be given 30% stake in MPS, which will be held by the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, 30% for Ghana and 70% for Ballore and friends. However, Asuma Banda was also given 12.9% shares in MPS, which he never paid for.
This suggests that this very profitable shares was Banda's reward for looking after Ballore's interest in Ghana and helping influence Mahama to award the container terminal job to MPS.
This arrangement was to change later under very questionable circumstances. At MPS shareholders meeting in May and June 2016 at Amsterdam, Ballore and his friends reduced Ghana's shares from 30% to 15% overnight.
However, Parliament, the media, and the government continue to refer to Ghana's 30% share.
The halving of the share would not be properly noticed for another 6 months.
The share reduction took place behind such a fog of legalistic jargon that the Ghana officials did not at first realize what was going on.
The secret ministerial investigation criticizes Ghana's officials for being bamboozled by MPS's lawyers. Others took the view that the civil servants knew what the president wanted and were not about to cause problems with the company too obviously favored by the head of state.
The concession agreement between Ghana Port and Harbour Authority and MPS was also altered by a deed of amendment, which radically changed the balance of power between the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority and the private company, MPS.
MPS also lengthened the period of time over which the company will run the new port from 30 to 35 years. MPS also obtained exclusive right to handle all ships with over 200 containers, which is basically all. They also set tariffs by themselves, so if you are paying more to import stuff.
Ballore also started working his magic again, but this time in Parliament.
The National Assembly, members of Parliament were told it was to be a $1.5 billion investment, and the government should wait $832 million in taxes over the life of the concession to show goodwill to investors.
Some of the members of Parliament called this the Meridian Port Services giveaways, arguing that for every $1 that MPS invested, Ghana was giving back 55 cents.
But the NDC majority ensured the giveaway was was voted through.
As of October 2020, when MPS filed annual returns, the total investment at the time was $761 million, less than half the sum Parliament was first told was being invested, and against which the firm won the discount.
When the NPP and Akufo-Addo won the election, new officials not bound to deals made by the old administration put the MPS deal under the microscope. They called witnesses and probed government's record through
before, in February 2018, submitting the devastating report from which I've been quoting. One prominent actor in the affair failed to appear before the committee, though several attempts were made to reach him. Banda. The new government was determined to rectify the wrongs of the MPS contract and restore Ghana's equity.
But while the committee was conducting the investigation, the mood in government was subtly changing. Ballor's influence with the new government was growing. By mid-2018, prospects of any renegotiation of the contract seemed to be slipping away as MPS's circle of friends in the new government grew. But in June 2018, Ghana's original 30% stake in MPS was restored. Reports in the Ghanaian media suggest that to restore Ghana's 30% share in MPS, the government gave up for 10 years half of the revenues it would otherwise have earned in port operations. Now, both MPS and the government can portray Ghana as owning 30% stake in MPS. The Dankwa Institute, a think tank, described the deal as a badly negotiated contract that mortgaged the economic interest of Ghanaians to MPS and its foreign partners for a generation. I'll leave the link to the secret ministerial investigation in the description and the African Confidential article too.